Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're here, it's probably because you're thinking about one of the most important things you can do, bringing a parent to Australia to be with you. It's a huge step, but let's be honest, the process can feel like a maze. Well, today, we're going to give you the map. We are breaking down the Subclass 173 visa, step by step, to help make reuniting your family just that little bit easier.
So first things first, what exactly is this visa? The Subclass 173 is a temporary one. That's the key word. It lets a parent come and stay in Australia for a set period. It's designed for parents of what the government calls settled citizens or residents. Someone who's been living here lawfully for a while, usually about 2 years. Think of it as a stepping stone. It's a great way to spread out the costs before potentially moving to a permanent visa later. If that sounds like what you're looking for, you are absolutely in the right place.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down for you today. We've structured this to follow the exact journey you'll be on. We'll start with what you need to do before you even apply. Then we'll dive into gathering all those documents, actually lodging the application, what to do while you're waiting, and finally, what happens when you get that final decision. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, before you apply. I can't stress this enough. Getting these first few steps right is going to save you so many headaches down the road. This is your foundation.
Before you even think about touching a single form, there are 3 things you've got to sort out. Number 1, and this is a non-negotiable, every single person on the application has to have a valid passport. Simple as that. Number 2, if you already have another parent visa application in the system, you have to formally withdraw it before you can start this one. You can't have both going at once. And third, have a real think about whether you want to get professional help, like from a migration agent. It's a big decision to make right at the start.
And now we're heading into the biggest part of this whole process, gathering your documents. I know, it can feel like you're about to climb a mountain of paperwork, but stick with me, we're going to break it down. This stage, right here, is where applications are made or broken.
Okay, before we go any further, I have to stop and say something really important. You have to be 100% accurate with everything you provide. The Department of Home Affairs is not messing around here. If you provide false or misleading information, your visa can be refused, and it could even lead to a 10-year ban for you and your family. The stakes are incredibly high, so please check and double-check everything.
So, let's start chipping away at that paperwork mountain. It really comes down to 5 main piles. First, you've got your identity documents. Think passports, national IDs, that sort of thing. Second, your sponsor has their own homework. They need to fill out Form 40. Third, you need to prove you meet the balance of family test, which basically means showing that at least half of your kids live permanently in Australia. Then there are character documents, like police certificates. But, and this is important, wait until they actually ask you for those. And finally, if your partner is applying with you, you'll need things like your marriage certificate.
Now here's something that trips a lot of people up. What do you need for dependent children? Well, it's different depending on their age. For kids under 18, you'll need the usual identity stuff, but also a crucial parental consent form. For dependents who are over 18, you have to prove they rely on you financially, and they generally have to be under 23, unless they have a disability that prevents them from working. If you're going to write anything down today, make it these form numbers. Seriously. Form 40, that's for the sponsor. Form 47A, for any dependents over 18. And Form 1229, for getting consent for a child. These are the big ones. You are definitely going to see them.
Okay, you've got all your documents together. Now what? Here's your final 4-step prep list. 1. If any documents aren't in English, get them translated by an accredited translator. 2. Get certified copies of everything, except for your police certificates. Those have to be the originals. 3. Make a full copy of your entire application and keep it somewhere safe for your own records. Trust me, you'll want it. And 4. Send it all in.
You've done all the hard work, all the prep. Now it's go time. Welcome to Section 3, Lodging Your Application. This is it, the moment you officially set the wheels in motion. Now, this is absolutely crucial, so listen up. You can't just go online and click Submit. This is a paper application only. No online submissions allowed. You have to fill out Form 47PA, make sure your sponsor's Form 40 is included, and then send it all by mail or courier. You can't just drop it off in person. And be warned, if anything is missing, your whole application might be considered invalid, and it won't even enter the queue.
Let's talk money for a second. The good news is you don't have to pay the entire visa fee all at once. It's broken down into 2 separate payments, which definitely helps with budgeting for what is, let's be honest, a very significant cost.
So how does that 2-part payment work? It's actually pretty straightforward. You pay the first installment right when you send in all your forms. Then you wait.
Much later in the process, they'll send you an invoice for the second, larger installment, and you have to pay that second part before they'll make a final decision on your visa.
All right, the application is in the mail. Deep breath. Welcome to Section 4, after you apply. Everybody calls this the waiting game, but it's not a time to just sit back and do nothing. There are definitely things you need to be on top of. Now, here's a great tip. Even though you sent in a paper application, you can and you should manage it online. After you apply, you'll get an acknowledgement letter. With the ID from that letter, you can log into your IME account and link your paper application. This is a game changer because it lets you upload any extra documents and, more importantly, track the status of your application online.
So while you're in that waiting period, you need to stay ready. The department could ask you for things like health exams or biometrics at any time. And please, I have to say this again, do not book flights. Don't make any concrete travel arrangements until you have that visa grant officially, in writing, in your hands. And of course, you have to let them know if anything in your life changes, a new address, a new passport, anything like that.
And that brings us to the final hurdle. Section 5, the final decision. After all the paperwork, all the preparation, and all the waiting, this is the moment of truth.
So, what can you actually expect when the department finally makes that call? Well, there are two ways this can go, and it's really important to understand what each outcome means for you. Let's look at the two possible outcomes side by side. If your visa is granted, fantastic. You'll get it all in writing with your visa grant number and any conditions that apply. If it's refused, you'll also be notified in writing, but the letter will explain why it was refused and whether you have the option to ask for a review. In either case, keep a copy of that decision letter. And it's important to remember that if it's refused, the application fee is not refunded.
So, there you have it, the complete roadmap for the Subclass 173 visa. You know the journey from start to finish. Now I'll leave you with a question to get you started. Thinking about your own family's unique situation, what is the single most important document you need to get sorted out right now? Answering that question for yourself, well, that's your real first step.